Hey guys, anyone who's here or anyone who joins up, sorry for the delay. Just a little few things here and there, but hey, it's me and Bianca again. Not Liana this time. Kidding. That's not always gonna be a regular thing. Love having Liana on, but can't always do it. But there's a reason why I have Bianca on, and no, it's not for the Cowboy Bebop stuff yet. But that's not what initially got it. What did B? What brought this about?
uh, Shoot, no, come on, Captain Tylor, the irresponsible
Irresponsible
Captain Tylor.
I suggested this to her. She checked it out, and what did you think?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
I didn't want to binge it.
I know.
I'm like, no, I want to take my time.
But it's one of those shows where you almost want to binge it because you want to know what happens next. And the funny thing is, it doesn't have a status quo. At least not a like a one that lasts the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice that? It's like each one, it's both serialized and yet episodic.
Yes, I was about to say that it's very episodic.
But it's still, yeah, it's episodic. You know, each one is its own little thing, but it builds and builds. And it has a nice social commentary.
It does.
I mean, just the idea of, okay, those of you who don't know, Captain Tylor, well, you can already tell by looking at him here, he's a goof. He is a goof, but it's one of those goofs where you're like, is he really an idiot? Or is he just the biggest genius in the world? But he's so smart that everything is, like he's just so carefree.
Both.
Yeah, I mean, because there are moments where, like the fact that when we first meet him, what's his reason to join the military? Life will be easy.
For an easy life.
And you're like, what? And then he points out, you get free food, free lodging. If you get a desk job, you are set for life. You are. And I'm just like, son of a bitch. He's got a point there.
I was like, really? That's why you're going to join the military?
But when you think about it.
It's true. It's true.
When you actually think about it, he's got a pretty damn good point.
It's true. I think about the military. You wake up early, you do exercise, you get food.
But that's also mostly if you're actually on the line. If you're at a
desk job,
it's more of a 9 to 5.
Oh, the one in the 9 to 5 jobs. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, and it's a 9 to 5 that's more promising all these other benefits and everything. So you're like, yeah, he has a pretty damn good point. But yeah, he gets in there, he's going through the testing, and then what does he do next? Somehow causes the AI, which is female, to fall in love with him.
My gosh.
It's like, okay, if this guy were a Dungeons and Dragons guy, he put all of his stats into his charisma.
Yes.
That's exactly
charisma would be 1,000 over 100.
Yeah, it's like everything went into charisma with a little bit of strategy. A little bit. Because the guy can think of stuff, on the fly. That's the thing. It can't all be blind luck.
Mm-hmm.
There are some times where they give you that little, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I keep thinking, like, what's going on? And then I was really surprised with General Mifune. He's the Japanese general with a sword. He just takes it out whenever he's angry.
Yeah. Kill me, let me die now. Well, when you think about it, he and the other general represent the military, where it's war for profit. They want to do it to move their careers.
Okay, I was so confused and I couldn't tell. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, they seem like they want peace, but they want to continue the war?
No. They put on the guise of wanting peace, but really they want the war to continue just because, hey, war is profit. I don't know if they're making profit off of it, but war helps our careers.
Yes, okay, I just wanted to make sure of that, and now I know.
Although I could tell you that I'm actually double checking which one. It is. Um, Mifune and Fuji. But the funny thing is, though, Mifune actually becomes more readable by the OVAs, which I know you have not seen yet because that was weren't on YouTube.
Actually,
Oh, you did?
The YouTube channel that you told me to watch it in, now they're recommending me the OVA, which is in Japanese and about an hour long.
Well, the first one is. The other ones start to be a bit, less that long.
So there's more. How many OVAs?
Oh, it's a 10 episode with the first one being a movie length. The first two being one movie.
Okay, first two being one movie. Okay, so I'll have to check those out too.
Yep, but I'm surprised they don't have the English version out there yet.
Sometimes I realized that sometimes it can be kind of hard to get the OVAs dubbed into English.
Oh no, it isn't. It's already dubbed.
Oh, it is. That's what. So that's what you meant.
That's why I meant because it's not online.
Okay. So sometimes they will do that as a marketing move to just have people buy the DVD.
Yeah, but I will say this about the OVA though. It does lean a little bit more to there's very little Tylor himself. It's actually more the rest of the crew, which is not a bad idea. That's why I love the other thing. I love the crew. I love the crew.
I love him,
especially so Yamamoto. I love Yamamoto.
Yamamoto, he's so
this guy is the fact is though when you really think about it, eventually it becomes more about him and less about Tylor when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, I'm like, how'd you go from hating this guy to wanting, admiring, respecting this guy?
Right down to the point of him putting on the shade. I'll tell you this: at the end, the last OVA, he puts on the sunglasses and he puts his foot on the chair and saying,
"Oh my
Let's
gosh.
go!"
That
tells you how far he's come. He's learned that maybe there is a method to his madness. And I'll just say this. The fact is with Tylor is that the fact his first rule, his first order, do whatever you want, and it ends up working for the best in more ways than you would ever imagine. When you hear this, you think, oh God, the guy's an idiot, the guy's a moron.
But he had it. He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, he knew and it seems like he does at least know that you don't put restrictions on this type of crew because they're just going to fight back.
Especially the Marines.
Yeah. Oh, those guys. Oh boy, those guys. And I gotta say though, the fact that just like he did with the AI, you get a spy among them, Nurse Petty Officer Harumi, and it turns out she's an android, and even she falls for him.
She's like, how can I have these feelings? How is this possible? Exactly. Please tell me.
Exactly. But then it's also very, very clear that Yuriko is the one he loves. It's quite clear. And I will say this. It's not as bad as a Love Hina or something when it comes to the Sundrear. It's close, but it's not as bad. Hey Lorenzo, he's in the chat right now. But you know what I mean? Those type of the ones where they're always hitting him. It's like, no. I mean, okay. Tylor can be a bit of a perv, but nowhere near as bad as others. This is not a harem. This is definitely not a harem.
But he ends up getting one anyway.
Well, it has harem elements, but that's not the main focus of the show.
Yeah.
It's not a Tenchi or a Lavina where the harem is the focus. No. The harem is just part of the cast.
Which I'm really happy about. I'm like, is this gonna go to a harem route? And they're like, it's not. Okay, good.
Exactly, because it's like, no, it's no secret who he cares for. It's no secret. It's not like he's torn. And oh, by the way, okay, how much of Tenchi Muyo did you ever watch?
I didn't watch it
at all.
Nah.
Well, did you know?
I know it though.
Did you know that the final OVA's gotten released?
I didn't even know they were releasing more content of it. I thought it was finished.
And basically the whole point of this OVA was to finally bridge into the Tenchi War on Jameer, which was set years later. Basically, this was meant to connect the dots. But at the end, at the very least, Tenchi's had a kid with Ryoko and Ayeka.
Nice.
Ryoko, and apparently Ryo-Oki too.
What?
Remember, in the OVA, Ryo-Oki has a humanoid form.
Okay.
Yeah, remember that. She has a humanoid form in the OVAs that she doesn't have in the other versions.
Okay, I got it.
Now, it's hard to tell if that's really true or if it was an excuse, given how they wanted a reason to have a celebration so that his half-brother, who's going to be sent off, can have one last celebration. It's hard to tell if it's really, in that regard, true or not. But yeah, with the other two, oh no, yeah, and Ryoko's the first one to have a kid. I know, you're like, So it's like, oh, so the creator wasn't, but one thing I'll say about Tenchi, I kind of realize is, when you really see it, there's no consequences in that show, ever.
It must be nice to have no consequences.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're going to have to send this kid off. Oh, don't worry, Washu has a way to keep an eye on him. Oh, Tenchi has all these girls. He marries them all. It's like, no consequences. It's like there's consequences for a moment, but by the end,
everybody's just like, wow, he's a mad lad.
That, or just in general, just things just happen to work out. It's like, I can accept that to a point, not to that extent. Like, I'm all for happy endings, but even I call that a little bit stretching it a little bit. When you build it up, we're like, oh, he has to leave, but then you have to decide to say, hey, no worries, we can see him anytime we want. But anyway, back to Tylor. But like I said, yeah, it wasn't an intentional harem. That's what it is. It's an unintentional harem that's just part of the series. And then you have Azalin. Oh yeah, Azaleen, sorry. Yeah, and the Ralgon Empire. That was pretty complicated. I felt bad for her. I felt bad for her
too.
She's 16 and she's being forced into this leadership role and having to do war and everything. And of course, she has an advisor and everything who's all go and do this. And thankfully, she has people like Captain Dom who can, who is a much more reasonable-headed. To a point, I did love the final episode when she said she wants, basically Captain Tylor back. The look on his face, like, what?
I was so surprised. I'm like, wow, he did that face, and his face is usually so calm.
But when you think about it, after everything they've gone through to now have it be, she just is going right back to that again. It's like,
16-year-olds.
Well, to be fair, in the original light novel, she was much younger. They aged her up because they knew that was going to be,
Oh my gosh, she was younger?
Yep. Not too much. I think she was 13 originally. But that's still significant.
I'm glad they changed it to 16 at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually in the series they did go along with the 16 as well, because there's still light novels that keep on going. But again, as it goes on, eventually, like, it does start to get a tiny bit serious, especially when the admiral, who was kind of a mentor to Tylor, dies of old age. Oh, man.
I
wanted to cry. I wanted to cry for him, especially also with the granddaughters of the old man, the twins.
It seems like it hit Tylor harder than it did his twins.
Oh, yeah, because I think it was because of the fact that Tylor kind of proved that, this was a great general, someone that he kind of looked up to. They never really especially explained that, though, I realize. But it's not in that, but it's in that way where, like, it didn't matter why he was like a mentor. You felt it.
Yeah. Because he didn't speak.
He didn't speak directly.
He made faces.
And he did talk off screen, remember? He's
But
the
was
one who was
that
able to
when he
get.
was passing away?
No, before he passed away, he was the one who put in a order to give him. I think it was either give him back the command or something he did to help Tylor out.
Yeah, it was to give him back the command because they were like
he used his ranking. He used his ranking to do that, and it's like, aw. But yeah, then when he died, you're like, oh. And it also helped that Tylor saw this guy was a great man, a war hero, a great hero, and he was like forgotten about. He never got his pension checks and everything. It just felt like this isn't right. You know what I mean? It's like
pension checks.
But that's what started it. Remember, he was in the pension office.
It was just so weird. He's like, "Oh, that's right. There's something going down. Like, what's it called? A hostage situation.
Yeah, hostage situation. And he just walks right in.
Got to give the guy the pension,
Exactly. And that's the other thing I love about him. He is so cool under pressure to the point where, again, you're wondering, is he an idiot or is he a genius? Because, like, when he gives the box that has a bomb in it, and apparently he doesn't know it, but he gives it as a gift to the
railgun.
To the railgun. Yeah, sorry. And then they go off, and then boom, and like, how'd you know about the bomb?
He's like, there was a bomb?
Like,
I was like, yes, I love this type of stuff.
You can't help but wonder if it was a case where, like, part of me feels like Captain Tylor knew there was something in there. Maybe not a bomb, but he knew there was something in there. But at the same time, though, his way of doing it, even if there wasn't a bomb, hey, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. It's just the bomb was a bonus. Yeah, I mean, again, just things like that. This was a smartly written show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, there's some jokes you couldn't do these days. There is a bit of sexism, let's be honest, a little bit. Comes with the territory of those type of animes back then. But even some of them, even I'm a bit like, yeah. Oof. You know what I mean?
Was it?
When it came to the rest of the crew and how they were acting.
Oh, mm-hmm. I know.
Now it was Tylor. He pushed it, but he didn't go that far. The rest of the crew, however, even I'm like, yeah, I can see why you guys are on this ship.
That reminds me when Yuriko was asking, hey, so, like, what's my future? He's like, easy, being married with me and having tons of kids. And I'm like, why would you say that? That's not what you wanted to hear.
Exactly. Again, just stuff like that. I mean, I think that's the thing. This is part of why I sometimes have issues with how some people are defending anime and all that stuff. Like, there's still some stuff that you can look back then you kind of cringe and people are like, it was never like that. It kind of was.
I mean, there's still some stuff like that. It's still animes in current year and even some in a couple years ago. Like, sometimes you're always going to see some sort of hint of it. Like, it's not like it was never there.
I'm not saying that either. I'm not going that far.
No. Not you.
Right. I'm just saying how people kind of just turn a blind eye to it and say it never happened.
Yeah, because when they do say that stuff, they end up saying, well, this anime didn't do it, and this anime didn't do it. And I'm like, well, what about the animes that have done it? You can't just ignore those ones.
Exactly, but they choose to ignore it because they don't want to talk about it because it'll seem, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even for anime YouTubers, there was one that it kept getting recommended to me on YouTube, so I'm like, I'll just watch it, whatever. It was called Anime Has a Sexual Assault Problem, and I'm like, what?
Okay,
like,
I would never go that far. I would never go that far.
It was clickbait.
I would assume it's clickbait.
And so they were talking about a specific anime, and I'm like, okay, so I don't know this anime, so.
Do you remember what it was? Do you remember what it was?
I don't even know if the person said the name, but I know what it's about. Think of Evangelion, but with dragons, something like that.
You lost me at dragons. I was trying to think about it. I was trying to think okay, Evangelion. When you said dragons, I'm like, dragon? Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
I know, I've never heard of it either.
Oh, but you want to know one type of anime dub that I'm positive you know for a fact would never, even though it was a gag dub, would never get done today.
Which one?
Ghost Stories.
I love Ghost Stories.
But you know that would never. And you know what the one joke I always point at and laugh my ass off is?
Is it the black guy running?
Yep. Yep. But then you're running away from a scary black guy. Well, you can't say he's racist.
Because he wasn't running any faster.
I know, but I didn't know that he collapsed. And like, whoops. Well, you can't say he's racist. God. It's just like, and this is the same guy who then write the scripting for the dub for High School of the Dead, where he put in some Sarah Palin jabs at everything. But the funny thing there, though, it kind of was funny.
I'm pretty sure, like, there's a lot of comedy dubs right now. One of them is called My Girlfriend is a Gal, that adds something maybe similar. They talk about SJWs in there and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work out well. But because I don't like know the entire context of that episode, I can't really say anything, especially since I'm like, after knowing what the description is about, I'm like, no, this is not my thing. I'm not into that stuff. Especially with the friend who's apparently a lolicon.
No comment. I'm sorry. I gotta say, I'm sorry. I know there was a point where you had with lolicons, but these days it just feels like certain people I think are hiding in that community, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying they're all that way.
Of course, yeah, I know what you mean.
But you know they're hiding in there because they realize, woo! And unfortunately, then you're having people to the point where I've noticed a lot more people are less likely to defend Lolly these days because of that.
I do, yeah. I was actually on a Discord, and we were talking about it. I'm like, listen, I don't mind if the person is a lolly. I have a manga that I bought.
If they are older but they look younger, okay, so long as their actual physical age is older. If they're DH, no, I'm sorry. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean by that? If it's a DH or if they are kids, no.
So that was very similar. I just bought a manga called My Senpai is Annoying. So the thing is, the girl, she looks similar to a child, but it's mostly because that she is very short and she doesn't act like a child. She acts like a woman. She acts like an adult and working in an office job.
Kind of like Baby Doll from Batman.
Yes, very much so. And I'm like, this is what it is. But when you have somebody who's a lolicon and then they act like a child, I'm like, that's why would you do that? That doesn't make sense.
Help. I mean, again, it's funny when you look back, it didn't seem like these were problems until some of these people got more comfortable and started making their ickiness more known.
Ickiness.
What is that? Is that one way of putting it?
Oh yeah. I would put it ickiness. Ickiness is fun.
Yeah, but you get what I mean by that, right? It's like, like some of these people got more comfortable, so they made themselves more known, and well, then it became a bit more like, it's kind of hard to defend this shit because no one paid attention to it until now.
Oh, and that anime, that guy was like hardcore. He's like, here's a map of all I drew of all the little girls around my neighborhood. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you see in the comments people defending this. And I'm like, why? He's like, don't worry. He won't hurt them. It's just that he was rejected by a girl. And because he knows that little kids won't ever reject him, that's why and I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. That's
something a real P to the E to the D to the O would use as an excuse.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. That you hear that and they're making excuses like, please tell me you're not a map supporter. Please tell me you're not a map supporter.
And the thing is, his friends hated. They would say jokes like, listen, maybe in a couple years from now, there's going to be some nice men in uniforms who are going to take you away. You don't know us. We don't know you. Don't say you have any association with us. Please.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
I was surprised to see Jason in the Captain Tylor show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, well it's kind of Jason. It could be Jason. You never know. It could be him. But that, yeah, I loved it. I mean, it's just a guy with a hockey mask, but they pretty much say, yeah, Jason and all that. That's hilarious. But I always look at it as a gag, nothing more.
And they named him Jason too.
Well, I know. But for all, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's an alternate reality where he gave up his killing ways
and joined the Space Force.
Oh, well, that's where he got a lot of his killing out, aggression out.
There was also the what are they called? The space pilots. Was one of them Kotomi?
Let me double check. Let me double check. I have the cast list. Hold on. It's I guess I love the ship. You know what I mean? The Soyokaze.
Yeah.
I love that ship. But hold on. You have you have Kim and Katori.
Kim and Katori, and then there's that pilot that they follow a lot.
No, Katori is the pilot. Kim is the helm and communication.
Oh, okay. So his name was
and the other pilot, Oh, no, sorry. That's the pilot on the ship, and you have the star pilot. That's Kojiro.
Kojiro.
Oh yeah, who's very who is famous for his misogyny.
He's like, I just hate women.
Although
leave me alone.
But then it's made very clear it's more gynophobia, not misogyny.
What's gynophobia?
A fear of women.
Yeah. They did say that.
Yeah, so, but that's you think it's misogyny. Like, nope, I don't want because he's trying to be a tough guy, but it's like, don't let the girls near me. But then the twins help him out of his shell, and he helps them become great pilots.
Yeah, I love that. I was like, that's so adorable. But then, of course, at the very ending, they follow him, and he's like, leave me alone.
It's fine when I'm your mentor. It's another one you want to keep following me around.
I don't know how I feel about the twins. I did hate the whole finishing each other's sentences. I'm like,
I can find that. I never liked that. Except. Okay, one of the few times I can accept that would be like in Kim Possible with Tim and Jim.
Oh, I loved them.
But that worked because it wasn't that annoying. Hika pika boo hoo-cha. But it's because it was more twin talk than it was actual
finishing each other.
High-minded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like the twins in Power Rangers RPM. Jason Jama.
Which one is RPM?
That's the one set in the dark future. The post-apocalyptic AI has taken over and everything. It was the last one that was on Disney. The one where their mentor is this young genius scientist, Dr. K.
Oh, was that after Mystic Force?
Oh, that was well after Mystic Force. That was after Mystic Force. That was after Operation Overdrive. That was after Jungle Fury.
Oh, it was after Jungle Fury.
After Jungle Fury.
I didn't know there was one after Jungle Fury. So that
that was the last one that Disney had done. Then they started doing the remaster, which thankfully that didn't last long. And then we got Neo Saban. And now we have Hasbro. Which Hasbro, with their Beast Morphers, actually resolved the cliffhanger that RPM left on.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you have Jen and Gemma. These are twins that were in there. And it's that all, hi, Dr. K. It's like, oh, God. And she's like, please stop talking like that. Like, what? But at least then there's times, though, where we've seen them separate, where they actually are talking normal sentences. And they're like, thank God they come off more normal.
I don't understand how that's such a popular trope.
I think it's because people think about, because some twins do that, but it's not, again, I think they misinterpret, they look at it more from the comedy point of view of it, and then they just run into the ground.
Oh my gosh. I've never done it with my twin. We were friends with like many different sets of twins, and it's just like.
Wait. Are you saying you actually have a twin?
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were. I did not. Okay. Wow, that's news to me. What's her name? Or
Biani.
Biani.
It's derived from my name.
Right.
So we were we were friends with different sets of twins in high school, like identical, fraternal, blah blah blah.
And the
like
fact that there were that many in your high school, usually that's not always a common thing. That's pretty fortunate.
It's not like I was like maybe 3 or 4 sets of twins.
Wow. What was going on in that neighborhood?
They're all different. Had one twins here, one set of twins.
I know the odds of that are.
It's hilarious. But we all acted different. We all had different personalities from our.
Oh yeah. So many people want to play up the complete identical twins. Again, not saying there aren't some like that. There are.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, there could be fraternal twins who act identical too.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes a lot of fraternal ones.
Yeah.
Act identical.
Yeah, but I mean, not all of them can be T and Tamara.
Oh well, T and Tamara was great because
they're still differences. They're still different.
Yeah, there was a lot of differences with them, and that's when I'm like, oh, I rewatched it with my sister this year, and last year, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more twin shows like this. I need more of this. Like Cody.
On the surface, you think they're they're completely identical. But when you watch it, you're like, oh, I guess I was wrong. They're not like Mary Kay and Ashley when they were younger, where that's where like identical, like. And yet at the same time, though, I still remember. You want to know a great set of twins that technically weren't a set of twins? It was Hollywood magic. Was The Parent Trap the one with
Lindsay Lohan or the other one?
Lindsay Lohan. Because one has an accent, the other one did, but they're still very different people. Now, granted, that's because they were raised differently, obviously, but I still like that. How the fact that she was so good at doing a different accent.
I was bamboozled. I thought it was real twins when I was younger.
No, you want to know an example of real twins? In Terminator 2 was Linda Hamilton. Whenever and with the cops, with the cop, that's a case of twins. And Linda and her sister are a case of twins. In fact, the famous nuke sequence, that's Linda at the fence. That's her sister looking like 80 Sarah with the kid and everything that gets blasted.
I haven't seen any of the Terminator movies yet.
Okay. Have you ever seen the Gremlin movies?
No, not yet.
Oh, brother. I gotta start sharing you some of this stuff because you would love Gremlins and Gremlins 2 especially. Gremlins 2 is one of those how to do a sequel by just not caring and going off the walls.
I know. I still have to watch it. I don't remember if it was on Netflix or not.
I'm not sure, but anyway. But yeah, it was Tapped and Tyler. I mean, eventually by the end they solved the war, and it's done in a way that's pretty not what you would expect.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, you expect it from the show now, but you wouldn't expect it in the general type of situation.
Yeah, without bloodshed.
Exactly, which is what everyone else wants. No, they come to a peaceful accord that makes sense and works. But then the OVA makes it very clear things are starting to heat up again.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, though. You can't change it overnight. You can try your hardest, but there's always going to be people who are going to doubt the princess and feel like you don't know what's best for us then.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a lie when the advisor was saying that. That's not a lie.
No, it's not. It's definitely true.
Unfortunately.
Though that thing they did where it's like the ships were getting closer and closer and closer.
Oh, yeah, but then they just went right past each other. That was brilliant. Because basically, but they could only have done with Tylor and Dom. That's the only one where it could have done with. If it was anyone else, they would have fired. But the fact that they didn't, and it's like neither one took the shot to give the other the excuse to do it, it's like, oh. But the tension on that was real. It's like, even if you knew it was coming, you still feel it. And that's what I love about stuff like that, where you're just like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So speaking of anime, the transition,
the
Cowboy Bebop stuff.
Yes.
Where do you stand on it?
The live action or the
Yeah,
animated?
the live action.
I mean, I wasn't gonna watch it anyway because I don't usually like watching live action, whether Japanese or American versions.
Yeah.
Alita,
When it's in Japan, it's wonky.
yeah,
Nothing against the Japanese. I get it. But there's a reason why, for example, when Ghost in the Shell was going on, you have people in Japan saying Scarlett Johansson looked like the character from the manga.
yeah,
And yet you have people who are saying, oh, just get someone as Asian. They don't look Asian in the manga or in the anime.
yeah. They even said like the androids are like different body parts of different.
Well, that too. But I'm saying though is that when you look at them, though, it always looks off. And I know many people, even Japan, who kind of admit it looks off. You could have a great actor, but it's going to look off because it doesn't match with what you see in the anime.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for the Faye outfit, I'm like, that's pretty bland, but whatever.
Yeah,
she has some of the color patterns.
Although
right.
I will say this though, when I see people saying, "Oh, there's no complaints, she's making it up," how the fuck do you know?
I saw the complaints. I saw the complaints on Twitter.
That's why it bothers me when people brush it off. They act like there was nothing, none whatsoever. She's making up just so she can take pot shots. Guys, no. Stop doing that.
One of them was the quartering, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're heating this up way more than it needs to be.
Yeah, and I've seen some people say, why doesn't she have the rack?
I saw a couple of them say that.
Yeah, like,
but then people are saying,
why didn't they hire her for her boot and the boobs? I was like, because it's not about boobs, it's about acting.
Plus, in the anime, her boobs aren't like what she said, double D's. It's actually average size.
Exactly.
So
now they look bigger because she doesn't have support. And
exactly.
Especially when you saw the movie, her support is that top.
Exactly.
Because what happened when it got cut? Okay, I mean, it didn't show tits, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, of course. I watched the anime, yeah.
I'm talking about the movie. In the movie, Broadway. There's a movie.
The movie version. Yeah. I saw the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you right? Yeah, the guy cuts the button off, and then it makes it very clear there's nothing holding it, besides her top. So it's like, of course, that's partially why it looks bigger because they're scrunched up there. It's almost like a push-up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even then when that happened and it got cut. She didn't look as big. I mean, she still looked it, but you know what I mean by that, right? It's like yeah. So I mean, it's like Elvira. If you actually see the woman, she's nowhere near as big as she appears, but it's because she probably admits it's a push-up. It makes me look bigger.
I didn't even know she was big.
Well, it looks that way because her cleavage is just pushed right up there.
Yeah.
So people think she's huge when she's decent sized.
Yeah, she's definitely decent size.
But again, that's why it bothers me when I see people say stuff like this and that. And you and I were talking this off the air. When it comes to, like, I know some people are saying if cosplayers can do it, why can't Hollywood? It's like, it's not a one-for-one thing. And people are saying, well, they could put all the money in to make it look that way. It's like, it's not always about the look. It's also about practicality.
It is. I started to learn that later in years. I'm like, okay, so how about it? I'm like, oh, wait, no, okay, I understand now. They did say they tried multiple times, and it was just going up.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, even she said in that little sarcastic video of hers, sometimes the outfit just went right up her cooch. She said it probably got eaten away by her. I will give her props. She was being funny, using her humor for it. And I can say some of her sarcasm felt like Faye.
It did. I'm like, no, she has the character down already.
She has the character, but I mean, I wish she didn't do the video the way she did. But at the same time, no, I'm not surprised Hollywood is lashing out more. I just wish these people would stop acting like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like
it's all done because they hate the fans. No, it's because you guys, I've had this argument before. You've heard me make this piece before. Mm-hmm. It's this whole... They say, without respect, we reject. They don't show respect first.
Yeah, there was already hate as soon as they showed it.
Expect the pros to be nothing but respectful and yet just take their lumps.
Mm-hmm.
That's what pisses me off most. I mean, I'm just saying, Nerdette, Tristan just did a video talking about it, and she's saying how, of course, she should be pushing back. And people are saying, no, she shouldn't have. She had no reason to push back. It's like, why do you guys say that? Because you just want to be a case where you can say your hateful stuff and want no consequences.
Yeah, I was just looking at somebody having a fight on Twitter, and they were like, "Well, why are you saying this?" She's like, "Because I want a chance to stand my ground."
Exactly.
And,
Why can't they stand their ground? Why can't they? Because these people they want a one-sided argument. That's the reason.
yeah.
They want a one-sided argument that has no pushback whatsoever. They can say their piece. They can call the creators shit, and they should just deal with it. Because that's respect. It's like, then if you're not showing them respect, why the hell should they show you respect? Because they're pros. And then there's that whole thing, what really pissed me off. And I love when Perch did a video a couple of weeks ago about it, when it's like, if we were in a retail store and I acted the way they did, I'd have been fired. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. No, I don't afraid. If they were doing this and I was being a person just doing this, the way I was online, they'd be fired. Like, no, you'd be kicked out long before they did anything that would be fireable. But unfortunately, Twitter, social media does not allow people to be booted like that. I mean, some do, but then they take it like how dare they? It's like, because you were being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure Hollywood's getting fed up with this. Okay, is it some regard? Okay, I will be honest. Some of them, is it because of the fact that they don't want to be confronted either? Possibly. I'm pretty sure that's true. But not all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not all of them. I mean, especially did you see Kevin Smith's stuff, Facebook stuff about working on Clerks 3? You could tell something's wrong. He is getting stuff coked up and everything, and you could tell he's forcing it. But I really feel this He-Man stuff did a number on him.
Yeah.
I think this pushed him to a point where he feels devastated. He feels like, I worked my hardest, and these guys showed me no respect. And yet, I'm sure if this was pointed out to someone like Clownfish or anyone, they wouldn't care. They'd be brushing it off. Because they'd be like, not our fault. It's like, maybe not all your fault, but it's partially your fault. But they would never look at it that way because they don't want responsibility. They just want to say their stuff, be in a vacuum, and not have to deal with any consequences. Because in their eyes, it's Hollywood, and they're punching up. And when you're punching up, you can get away with whatever you want.
It is.
But it is punching. It is punching up, right?
Yeah. I just get so confused every time now when somebody says, "Well, I know a source, a person who works from this area,
then
so
prove
this is true," and I'm like, I'm not gonna believe it anymore. I'm tired.
I'm pretty sure that's why Tristan did her joke video the other day.
Yeah, I loved that.
That was hilarious, wasn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, it's like, it's just, I'm hearing so many people, and some people don't even have sources. They're just saying, oh, it's going to be this way, and then other people quote them, and then it's all like, hey, we should listen and believe what he said, and what really gets me is, you saw my rant video a while ago, right?
Yeah.
It's the notion of they get the broad strokes right. They get a few details right. Oh, they're an oracle. Oh, they're like, we should listen to everything like they're saying is the gospel because they got a few details right. That means everything was right. Even though they have to move the goalpost to make it look like it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. I will say that I'm gonna watch the new Techno He-Man.
I will check it out. Will I
I
enjoy
love
it?
the voice
Probably
cast.
not. Oh, I love it too. But have you noticed how strangely quiet it got after that trailer?
Yes. I didn't hear anything on it.
Exactly.
At all.
And yet I've noticed there were some people on Reddit who were enjoying it. Some similar people who were dumping on Revelation, and then they were using some of the stuff they used to dump on Revelation. They turned around to praise the stuff done in the techno version. Or as Liana puts it, He-Man, he-yond. I love that. That's clever, is it? He-Man, he-yond.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love Yana so much.
Oh yeah. Oh, she is so. I cannot wait for the last episode of Boss Fight.
I'm still new. I just subscribed to her, so I need to binge watch it all.
It's only a couple episodes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's only like 4 episodes with the 5th one coming soon.
Nice. So it'll be easy for me to catch up then.
Yep. Kind of like if you were to catch up on Hell of a Boss, for example. You know about that?
I know about it. I haven't
watch it. It's damn good. It's so high quality. You think that someone was leaking an unaired show on YouTube. That's how high quality it is.
They're also known for it's by Vizzy
Has Been Hotel. Has Been Hotel.
Yeah, Has Been Hotel. I have to watch that.
It's in the same universe. It's in the same universe.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Although because of A24 is now the production company for Has Been Hotel, and Hell of a Boss is still on the web. Aside from cameos, there's not going to be any crossovers, sadly.
Aww.
Like I say, though, I'm loving how deep the characters are in Hell of a Boss. You'll see when you watch it, because it's a case where it's like, you would think, oh, these characters they're in hell, they're irredeemable, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, some of them are unscrupulous, but deep down they're still in hell. There's still tragedy about them.
Mm-hmm.
I think people forget about that. Not everyone is in hell because they're a monster. Mm-hmm. And especially since most of the characters we see in Hell of a Boss are hell-born, not sinners.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference, of course. But yeah, though, back to with Faye and everything. I personally feel like the look of everything. I actually do not hate the look entirely for what it is. Because to be honest, it's not Powerpuff Girls. I saw something a good point, but I was like, we've seen worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I know that sounds like, oh, you shouldn't compare it to it. You kind of should.
Yeah, it's a live action of an animated series.
I know people like to say you shouldn't. I'm like, why not? Because that means you would actually have to say something good about it. You know what I mean? And and I saw someone edit the pants on the actress doing Faye and basically gave her the short shorts, but they made them so short you could see the underwear. It's like,
okay, I thought you were gonna say something else.
No. But I'm saying you could see the underwear from the because they're that short. You know what I mean? It's like, really? That's what's gonna do it for you? They have to be that short. So okay, you guys are just being horny guys who want to jerk off.
Honestly, it was like, if you just you can't say, oh, we want a perfect what's it called? Perfect,
one for one.
Okay, one for one. But then you completely change it to it's even skimpier than usual, and I'm like, I don't think you mean what you say.
Exactly, and by then people are like, yeah, that's what we want. That's the real one. It's like, or again, you see they show images of cosplayers who do have huge tits doing it. Like, that's what who should have been cast. It's like, can she act?
Exactly.
Can that outfit be can their particular outfit be feasible for what they want to do? Again, right. It just feels like people want to be mad just to be mad. And it just, there's a reason why I'm going to start doing more rants going forward, because I am so fed up with this shit. It's getting worse. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? It was not always this bad, but lately it's just gotten to the point where people want to get mad just at the drop of a hat. You know what I mean? It's like the stuff going on. I mean, now, I'll be honest. After the stuff with Superman, Son of Kal-El #2, even I'm worried for DC.
So for me, I actually didn't see a problem with the combo.
I'm just saying I'm worried. If it's,
yeah, it makes sense. Just Tom Taylor in general.
yeah, because it escalated from the last issue already. If he's going to keep escalating further, and it feels like Tom Taylor is, in his eyes, because they've made it very clear, John's not going to be a tyrant, but his actions aren't going to make him a tyrant. But in Tom Taylor's eyes, no, he's doing what's best for the world. I think here's what I believe, and here's why I think it happens to a lot. I think there's not as many pros out there, and this is going to be what my focus is. I'm going to do actually a video with Perch about this, is that people like to assume the writers are writing their politics first and the superhero last. Mm-hmm. Some I think that applies to, but mostly I don't think so. I think it's a case where in their eyes, they are writing a good story, but it's going to be involving some leaning towards the politics. Their bias dominates. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's going to be because there's so much stuff these days that that are parallel to politics that they just cannot help themselves. Their bias has to take charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like the stuff with Tom Taylor was Nightwing. I could have seen that working, but then his bias just had to drill it in.
And this is why sometimes I feel weird with what's it called? Writers working on multiple books. I'm like, I honestly feels like it's too much for them to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it also depends on the editor too. And unfortunately, it looks like these editors, but one, they're understaffed and overworked these days. That's no secret. After the cutbacks and everything. Mm-hmm. So
is it the same editor for that comic? For those two comics?
No. Well, for Superman, no. They're different editors, but I'm pretty sure they're all in a similar boat. They're overworked and understaffed. So I think they're just trying to make things easy, so they just let some things slide compared to how they used to be. Mm-hmm. That's what but I do think though we're not going to get a Bobby Iceman thing. We're not going to. It's not going to get that bad where you completely disregard the character. Again, I know I keep on bringing her name up. Tristan was right when she said that people and Iceman and Riri damage people's looks on gay characters and replacement mantles to the point where now they're just either hating them all or they're just assumed going forward that's all they're going to be when they're not. I mean, I have gotten into so many arguments lately with people about the Alan Scott Green Lantern thing, and it's like, they're saying it's as bad as Iceman. Where?
It's definitely not as bad as Iceman.
But in their eye, because they did the change, it's automatically as bad. Mm. That's all it boils down to. And I'm just like, so you feel that it wasn't well handled compared to Bobby where it was forced? We actually find out, no, he shouldn't be that way. It doesn't match up with the history. Actually, they did a respectable job, mostly. I still have some issues, but compared to Bobby where it was so steamrolled, this felt still more respectful. No, it wasn't. It's like, people just want to get mad because of the change itself. They don't want, and they're mad because of the change itself. They don't want to look at it if it was well handled, which is what I do. I always look at, was it well handled? Yes. Okay, and accept it. Was it botched? I will be mad. It's like all in the same week you had Bendis give Lois a brother and Tom Taylor give Dick Grayson a sister. And both very similar, both egregious, but Tom Taylor actually made it work. Bendis steamrolled it, and it goes so against all the characterization, you could tell which one I hated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's a prime example right there, okay? I mean, I should have hated both, but one was executed a lot better than the other.
I totally forgot about that new X-Men character. The one who was like a drag queen.
Oh, and then they killed him off. I think.
They did? What? Why?
That was part of the story, I think.
It was like a one-off?
No. I think the character was around for a little bit, and then they killed him off. I think I'm looking it up right now. Are they still alive, or did? Oh no! Wait, never mind. They might still be alive. Oh, wait, let me double. I'm trying to double check which is the right one or not. Was it Shade?
Yes, Shade.
Then yeah, they're still around. I think it was someone else that I'm thinking of.
Okay, thank goodness.
All right.
I don't think anything has been done with that character
No,
yet.
they were mostly in the Iceman book. That's why.
Ah.
But again, that's where a lot of the issue is with Iceman, because it was such a drastic change of the character, where to the point where he almost became like a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where just like it was all about his gayness, all of it. And I brought it up to the point where he had a Tinder date at Black Widow's funeral.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
But in their eyes, isn't this great? It's his way of coping. No, that's horrible. That is beyond stupid.
That's terrible. I hate that.
You want to know another example I can give of an adaptation of something that was done so horribly done and it totally missed the mark to the point where it made other ones but that came before it actually look nowhere near and look not that bad? Gem and the Holograms. Do you remember that movie, the 2015 movie?
The 2015 one, I know about it, but I'm like, I know it's not even close. So.
Not even remotely. To the point where you have people like Andre the Black Nerd saying, this absolved Transformers and everything else. At least those ones still felt like their properties. This, and I would say, yeah, Gem was so egregiously horrible because they didn't have the look. They weren't in the same age. It was more about YouTube culture. And as this one fan film that did a crew that did a reaction to it in character, as Jem and the others are saying, the people who liked it in the 80s are pissed, and the people who they're trying to cater to aren't even interested.
It wasn't even interesting, like, at all.
No, it wasn't. And the only point that was the post-credit sequence where they set up the Misfits for a sequel, and you actually feel like, that feels like Jem and the Hologram, that all was over.
The Sonic one was a good adaptation.
Sonic was good. Unfortunately, then you have these people use the whole, see, we yelled and they changed it. It proves we do it. No, that was a unique situation.
That was definitely on its own thing.
Because this was an executive decision. The people actually involved with the production hated that design.
They did?
Oh, the people involved with the production hated it. They were, and basically, so when the backlash happened, they were able to say, see, executives, we told you so. Okay, go ahead. Plus, as Liana's told me, it's easier to actually do it, especially that early on in production, to change the model.
I was surprised they even changed it at all.
All it was just you come up with a new model and you just put it in place, and you just got to make sure, deal with any bugs.
Oh, and one guy did it all by himself?
No. One guy came up with the model. You still had people, the company still working on it. Unfortunately, the company then shut down afterwards. Mm-hmm. But still, though, that was a unique set of circumstances. Unfortunately, while I don't agree with people saying they should not have caved into the fans, they should have stayed the course. I don't agree with them entirely. They did kind of have a point saying now they're going to use this because they have, unfortunately. And not in a good way either. They're using it in the dumb, like, gotcha moment, or, see, this is, I win the argument. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's
they try to get an inch.
Yeah, they got an inch, and they're not going to let go. Still, though, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, of course.
Someone made a good point about saying most cosplayers can't act either. Okay, why do you keep on saying this? I'm looking at some of the comments, people replying to my stuff here saying, if cosplayers with a few $100s can recreate the outfits of anime characters, then I guess Hollywood should be able to do the same with a budget of millions of dollars. That's not the point I was saying in my comment. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's a matter of practicality, but in their eyes, well, if these cosplayers, that's not the point I was making. They are looking for just the look, which again told me they want a 1-for-1.
Is this on YouTube or is this on Twitter?
This is on Tristan's her video, the comments. Yeah, it's just like, good God, guys, you're missing my point entirely. Because it's just like, I mean, it's like ever since when people were worried that WandaVision was going to be woke, it wasn't that bad. So what did they decide to do? We're going to complain by saying, why wasn't it a 1-for-1 adaptation? Why wasn't it Mephisto? It should have been Mephisto. And they're only saying it because the showrunner didn't even know who Mephisto was. So they're saying, she didn't know. This should have been 1-for-1. It sucks.
1-for-1. Wasn't WandaVision its own thing? Was it?
But there is loose adaptations of stuff like the West Coast Avengers stuff with the twins.
Oh, okay.
Where it turned out later they were Mephisto and they were broken off of Mephisto's soul and everything.
Oh
It was John Byrne's way of getting rid of the twins because he wanted to totally undo everything Stephen Englehart did, including the WandaVision relationship. He hated it.
I love the WandaVision relationship.
Oh, but Byrne hated it, so he took away he just did a factory reset on Vision, no emotions whatsoever, got rid of the kids, made Wanda snap, and basically decided, screw it all, it's gone. Unfortunately, that's the kind of person that Byrne is. And I gotta say, Byrne, now that I say that, I feel like Byrne is kind of like what some of these people would, Byrne's actions are what some of these people in the community would do if they were in his shoes. They would be vindictive up the ass and would make no secrets about it. And even if it would tick people off, they won't care because they're going to just do it their way to spite who came before.
They definitely could if they wanted to.
Yep. And it's just, I don't want to keep bringing up this, but when I see it everywhere lately, just the stupidity of everything, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've probably been seeing it too, right?
Yeah, I have a Twitter, so.
Oh, you do? Oh, what is it so I can tag you in for it? Could you email me? Could you DM me it?
Sure.
You don't have to do it here. You don't have to do it here, but do it on Discord.
Discord.
So I can tag you in. But yeah, though. But again, it's just reaching just all levels of craziness. I just wish people can just get their heads up out of their asses and stop being so. I hate to say it. I hate to use the phrase the SJWW used, but entitled fanboys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay, there is always a point where they need to push back. I'm not arguing that, but not to the level that they're going. Hold on a second. You know what I mean? It's like...
I realize I have no idea how to DM.
No. What we've been doing on Discord.
Oh, okay.
So send me the comment on Discord. Just send me your whatever handle.
I'm stupid. I got it.
You're not stupid.
Sometimes.
I'm always the same. If someone says I'm stupid, I'm like, unless they're really being stupid, no. But again, it just feels like no one wants to be, everyone wants to be mad. Everyone wants to be angry. Everyone wants drama. No one wants to look at good anymore. If there's anything that's remotely good, they got to find something bad so they can bitch and moan so you can make videos out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what but no one's catching on to how much of a grift it has become. Have you noticed that?
I feel like they do know.
Not all of them. No, I'm talking about, no, the YouTubers themselves, yes. Their actual followers, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think their followers, I hate to say it, they're a bunch of sheep being led towards oncoming traffic.
Yes.
Because they do not realize what's going on while the other people are getting ready to be like, ha, 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 Look at all the money I'm making. They're like, do you guys even believe that half the shit you're saying? Nope. Now, okay, now, someone like a certain former DC Comics artist turned YouTuber and all that, yeah, I think he believes it. And I don't mean that in a good way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have others who I think, yeah, they don't believe a word of it, but they don't care because everyone's eating it up.
Mm-hmm. All they do is consume.
All they do is consume. And I mean, now again, are there some points I will agree with on them on? Yes,
Yeah.
but not to the extent they go.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, the Cowboy Bebop stuff. Do I wish the outfits looked better? Oh yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no, I'm not that mad about it.
I'm not going to attack anybody for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I feel like, oh, I wish it was better. But not to the extent. And yet, I mean, put it this way. People are excited that Doc Ock is back in Spider-Man. Why isn't he? But Alfred Molina was never the short, stouchy guy with a gut.
Wait, what? What was it? What was going on?
No. I said it's Alfred Molina. So he's leaner, more, just a leaner Doc Ock and everything. He doesn't look, I mean, he looks close enough to Doc Ock, but he's not a 1-for-1 like everyone else wants.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice that? They want 1-for-1 when it suits them.
Were people actually complaining that he was skinnier?
In fact, when Spider-Man 2 was out, yes.
Oh.
Mostly because the comics also made him, they gave him, abs. They gave him a six-pack and everything. And people felt like, oh, come on. He's supposed to be this, schlubby guy and everything. Of course, that was back then where you could actually, you wouldn't mind seeing that. These days now they're saying, oh, Doc Ock is fat. He's lashing out. That's a take against us, isn't it? No, you dicks. That's how it was for the longest time.
Oh, when I asked my brother if he watched the trailer, he was like, yeah, that guy looks so similar to the guy who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And he was like, what, that they look alike? And I'm like, it is him. He was like, it is? And I'm like, yeah, he's obviously just skinnier and stuff. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, even his hair looks kind of different, more curly.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, it does look different because he's older.
He still looks the same to me.
Relative, and there's some wrinkles there, but hello, Peter. I am so excited for that.
I'm super, super excited.
But at the same time, though, one thing I'm wondering about, are they going to make it very clear that this Peter's relied on other things, that he haven't been able to defend himself, and he's going to see the other Peters and to see how it's done? Or do you think it's going to be done where they're going to show up and then they're going to prop him up?
I hope it's not the prop him up thing.
Because I hope it's more like Into the Spider-Verse, where they're going to help him through it all. Now, here's the big thing. Do you think that's actually Doctor Strange, or do you think it's Nightmare or whatever, or whoever posing as him? Because I'm hesitant when you have that point where it's saying, this is you're trying to live two lives is a problem. Either that's them trying to make a message, or someone's trying to mess with Peter.
I didn't notice Doctor Strange was acting weird until somebody said it in one of the YouTube comments. I'm like, oh, now that I think about it, he is weirdly chipper.
Oh yeah, he is definitely weirdly chipper. But like I said, that whole bit then about this is a problem because you've been trying to do two lives. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I gotta say, for him being if he's being chipper, we haven't seen. This is the first time we're actually seeing him since Endgame. Who knows what being whisked away would do to a person?
That's very true.
And being blipped. Who knows what being blipped did to him?
I don't know. I hope it's the real him.
Yeah, but at the same time, those statements like that makes it seem like you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you want to know who I'm in the process of trying to get an interview with? Funny I mentioned Gem earlier. Christy Marks, the creator of Gem.
Gem and the Holograms?
The creator of Gem. She also wrote the Amethyst sort of whatever that's world of the Gem World comic for New 52. She took over Birds of Prey during New 52. She's also worked on episodes of Reboot, Beast Wars, some Bucky O'Hare. She's also did 2 adventure games that are considered big time classics: Conquest of Camelot and Conquest of the Longbow.
Oh my gosh, she did so much.
Oh yeah, but the fact she did so many in different fields.
I did hear about what's it called, Amethyst?
Oh yeah, no, but we're talking about Amethyst from Gem World. We're not talking about Amethyst from the other Gem World. We're not talking about Steven Universe Gem.
No. I remember like passing by a comic book store.
Oh yeah, there was a recent one. There was a recent one, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if this like is the same Amethyst that she's been doing, or is this a new one?
It's well, the one she did for New 52 was the New 52 version. Then the one that was done around the time of Brian Michael Bendis with Amy Meberson working on it was a slight retool of it. And then there was the one from the 80s, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So Christie worked on the New 52 relaunch of it, which wasn't that bad. It was pretty dang good.
There was a couple of things that were actually good in the New 52.
It was underrated, I'll say that. It was underrated. Didn't get a good proper footing, and basically was struggling along until it got canceled.
Do you think it's because it's not a superhero stuff?
I think it's a bit of that, and I think it's also just because of the fact that
girly.
And no. Amethyst is such a lower tier character.
Ah.
Yeah, things like that. So.
But that's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's not been a definite yes yet.
Dang it.
But she said she's open to it. She has to look at my YouTube video, my YouTube channel. Much like I did with Philip Kenny Johnson, I gave it a link, but then I gave it a help saying, I've interviewed some of these guys. Don't think this means I agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know which particular people I'm talking about, of course. So it's like,
yeah.
And I'm talking about from last year, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make that clear to them, and hopefully that that doesn't drive her away. Hopefully, but she seems like a cool lady. So here's hoping for that. I mean, there's some other people I would like to get as well. There are some people I really would, but who knows? You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, so since you've been in some of my streams, what have you been seeing on my interviews lately?
Oh, a lot of the interviews have been like super fun. A lot of them have been like the adventure games.
Yeah.
And stuff, and because I don't know the terminology very well, I keep thinking I'm just gonna act like I know a majority of
just
stuff
look
you
them
guys
up.
are talking about.
Just look them up, and most of these are available on the cheap on Steam and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just or GOG.com. Just look them up and get them when they go on sale, and you'll have a good time.
Oh, I did see one of them. One of the adventure games that you recommended me. I did see them on
cool.
Nintendo Switch.
So that was one more recent one. Yep.
I forgot. It was the very first ones that you recommended me.
It's been a while since we talked about it, so I'm forgetting.
And I know you interviewed him too.
The one. Was it either Dave Gilbert's games or or was it Francesco?
Was it Francesco?
He's the one who did A Golden Wake and Lamplight City.
Dang, I forgot the name. I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you.
If it was on Avowed, that was Dave's game. It might have been. It probably was on. It was probably on Avowed, since that was the big one that's gotten a Switch release, or it's going to get a Switch release. I forget which.
Does it have a dragon on it?
And that was one of the ones I interviewed.
I'm pretty sure it's definitely one of the ones you interviewed.
That might have been on Avowed. Hold on. Yeah. Actually, no. Let me just look at the the unavowed switch? Did it show the dragon on there? No, there's no dragon on the actual advertisement for it, unless you're looking at one of the. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did it show? And did they show samples from the game when you're looking it up?
The images.
Okay. What did it look like? I'm saying this in the private chat. Hold on. Tell me if that's the image.
Yep. Wait, did you send it on Discord?
No,
or
no, private chat.
Ah, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm very apologetic. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, that's unavowed.
Yes, that was the name. Yeah.
Yep,
Which
that
one
was
is by
Dave.
that?
That was Dave.
Dave? Dang it.
Yeah, that was Dave's game. Yeah. Oh, but trust me, that is a very good game too. That's the one that's RPG-like elements.
Oh, nice. I got the
RPG. Well, RPG in that you pick specific different characters for the event, for that part of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's fine. That's completely fine.
Now, let me ask you a different question. Where do you stand on all the stuff going on with DC?
In what way?
You know, like the stuff going on with John, what might be going on with John or with Tim and everything.
Oh, well, for Tim, it already happened. For John, let's see if it happens or not. If it does, I honestly don't care about it. Either way, I think to me it depends.
How long?
Yeah, how long, how far, how they're gonna do it, who's gonna be writing it. Did it seem organic? I mean, honestly, it's obviously all gonna be pandering, but do it good.
Right. But I agree with that completely, 100%. It's just wait and see. Let's see. Like I said before, let's see how it's executed. If it's going to be another Tim, Bobby, Drake thing for either Tim or John, then I will be mad.
Yeah.
Definitely. If it's not though, and if it's well handled, I will defend it.
Mm-hmm.
But still though, when you have that, but it just again feels. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just driving me nuts how people just want to be mad, and then they use anime like a crutch.
I hate that so much.
Especially, and the fact you kind of pointed me out to this before about how there's some you have the whole issue going on with manga, how people the manga creators are being overworked and everything, and a lot of these YouTubers don't even care.
No, they use it as see, this person is like dying in Japan, and and they write good stories, and I'm like, yeah, but we're also did everybody forget what happened a few years ago with Marvel writers saying that they've been having missing paychecks for months, and now DC is showing signs of that, but a lot of them
they don't care. They want everything to crash and burn. I don't want to call them sociopaths. They're not that bad, but sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah, it's not normal. It's not normal. Definitely.
It's definitely not normal. It's like, come on, guys, be human beings. Treat them. They don't want to look at these people like human beings, because if they do that, then that makes them look worse.
As a sign of weakness, they might say.
Exactly. I've seen so many of these type of comments, especially, again, this past few months alone, where it feels like I said, if it was pointing out to someone like Clownfish or whatever, saying, do you think maybe Kevin's really going into the coke and everything, or whatever he's the weed, whatever, whatever he's on, do you think that he's pushing himself because of the fallout backlash of He-Man? To which they'd be saying, he brought it on himself. It's like, really? Not even a little bit of remorse, huh? Wow. And you complain when these people show no remorse for their actions.
Kettle and pot, you know.
Yeah, it's like, I feel, I hate to say this, if a Zoe Quinn type situation happened, but the other way around, they'd show no remorse either.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that. No, I'm not saying it's specific about Clownfish. I'm saying any people in general in this community. If someone was to do it, I don't think they'd feel bad. I think they'd make excuses.
Like, I've had disagreements with people a lot, but I do always try to keep my emotions in check and try to be as respectful as I can.
Exactly. That's what I try and do. That's why it pisses me off when I see them being so disrespectful. Why I'm not so upset when I'm seeing these people, pros, pushing back.
You know, I was even told by a person who was a Buddhist, I guess, that he hopes Muslims come find me and kill me.
What?
It was a religious topic, and I'm like, well, that's so funny because I've heard that Buddhists were, non-violent. So I'm like, you're the only violent Buddhist I've ever seen, and he was like bragging about how long he's been a Buddhist for.
To be fair, from what I understand, and the whole notion of Buddhists being so anti-violent is overdone.
And it was all just for a disagreement, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to tell you about my religion, but you don't want to listen to me. You just want to listen to the other people attacking me.
Exactly. It's and again, it's like you can't say your piece in this community anymore, can you? Unless you agree with them, and if you don't agree with them, like I said in my rant, they see you in three ways. You're either an ally, an enemy, or an ignorant idiot. Because how many times have you given your piece and they talk down to you? They treat you like you don't know what you're talking about. Go check out these YouTubers. They know what they're talking about. And we saw that with Tristan. But, I mean, have you had that happen, too, where you've given your piece and they punch in the way of someone like Rippo or Yellow Flash or someone or Clownfish and saying, check these people out, and you're like, they're part of the problem.
Sometimes. I've had it happen sometimes. I haven't had it lately.
Well, understandable, but you get my saying, right? That these people, that's how they look at you. They look at you as either ally, enemy, or an ignorant idiot.
Oh, I'm going to have to pause just 1 second. My laptop is dying.
Uh-oh. Go right ahead.
I'm back.
All right. Yeah, it's just you, me, and me anyway. No one in the chat room right now. I don't mind that, though. I don't mind that. Keep it recorded for posterity. You know what I mean?
I think it's fine.
What?
I think it's fine. I never have a problem with it.
Yeah. I mean, but again, it's just... That's why I always call you one of the sane heads. Because you are. Because you... And actually... never mind. I had something I was to say. I'm going to save it for when we're done. Actually, you know what? Let's just start wrapping up, actually. I think the fact that it's just the two of us, let's just take this off the air.
All right.
For anyone that checks it out later, see you guys later.
See you.